Hello guys, how are you all doing? Luke Hodge here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to upgrade a hard drive in a MacBook Pro 2011. So, let's get started. Okay then, the first step is you've got your brand new hard drive. I bought this 1TB Western Digital normal laptop hard drive to replace the 500 gig drive in my iMac. So then the way we're going to do this is we're not doing a fresh install. We want to copy everything that's on our original hard drive in the Mac at the moment, and we're going to do that with a software used called SuperDuper that I'll show more into in a minute. When the first step is we need some way to add this to copy the operating system with the software on to this new drive. And to be honest, it's not that hard. All we need to do is have a hard drive enclosure that we can use. So I'm going to use this hard drive closure I have. It's already got a hard drive in it. So I'm going to remove that, and it's got the SATA adapter that we need. And it's got USB 3. So basically all we need to do at the moment is just get our 1TB hard drive, insert the adapter in, and I'm just going to pop it in the case carefully, and then just put the one screw in because the other one's done. Is broken because it's cross-threaded. That's what happens while you buy cheap things off eBay. So be careful where you buy it. But apart from that, though, this thing does the job just fine. So I'm just gonna pop that in, and then we'll get on to the Mac side. Okay then. So the first step is to get to your Mac. Now, when you're doing this hard drive copying, it's always good, even if you've got a full charge, to put your charger on. So I'm going to connect my MagSafe charger that came with it, and yep, there you go. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn on the machine fresh, make sure so it hasn't been running for hours and it's just ready to go for the first time. So just to comparison for the new drive, I'm actually going to time the startup. Hopefully this iPod doesn't die because it's in desperate need of repair and the rest of it. But anyway, let's give it a go. I'm going to give this time. I'm going to start it with the bong. Right. This one is a bit long starting up, but hopefully the hard drive time will... Yeah, I'm going to restart it actually. I'm going to start it when the Apple logo comes up, because ever since I've done the original hard drive, it just needs a little bit of time to gather itself together, but it will speed up normally after a bit. It's just the way it goes. So there we go, got the load bar, we're starting. Hopefully this thing doesn't die actually, because it's on low battery all the time, because the batteries are pretty much dead in this thing. I'm surprised it's still running right now, but we'll find out by the time this thing's loaded up if it's still on or not. But yeah. So this is the original 500 gig hard drive from Apple that came with this computer. So yeah, this is the timing. Hopefully our Western Digital 2017 Blue will fix this problem. Wow, it's taking up to a minute. That's very bad. Even proving from the startup time, it's pretty slow. But in the hard drive in normal functions, it is pretty fast. It's just the startup's pretty slow. But apart from that, though, it's fine. But anyway, what you want to do next is you want to plug in your USB drive that has your new hard drive in, so you can format it and get it to everything that you need it to. So I'm just going to place it behind the Mac because it's the available space I can prop it up, and I'm just going to plug it in. Right, it's got power, so that's a good start. It knows it's there. So it should now pop up in the right hand corner. It says it says your disk, the disk you inserted is non-readable by this computer. Now you want to click initialize. When you've clicked initialize, I'll just zoom in on that so you can see it a little bit better. You want to click initialize, so then it will be able to read so then the computer can read it, and then it can install, it can copy it over. So there you go, into this utility. This is the Mac I've got right now. We want to select on the drive that I have, and what I need to do is I need to erase it. It's 1 terabyte. I'm going to put it on the guide map partition that it has, because that means then it'll stick to its 1 terabyte, or it should. Extended journal, and I want to put Mac HD, because I want to name it the same so I know what it is. So let me see, Mac HD. So there you go, Mac HD, guide map, erase. So now it's just going to erase it, even when it has nothing to erase, but it'll reformat it to its new partition. So yeah, it's just doing its thing right now, so we're just going to wait for it to do its thing. It should take no longer than a few minutes. It's often pretty quick, and it'll just use a few megabytes to develop. So yeah, it should reformat in just a little bit. So I'll catch you with you a lot when it's finished doing that. Okay, we're into our it's finished partition. There you go, 999 999.686 gigabytes. That's the 1 terabyte drive, because of course it's out of formatted, so it's only used 662.8 megabytes. Jesus, I can't say anything proper, but there you go, it's just formatted it. So there you go, there's our 1 terabyte drive. So now as that's formatted, we can now close it. And what we can do is, if I go into my Launchpad, you want to download off the internet Super Duper. Now it's free to download, but if there is a full paid version, but even when this is free, it's ad free. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a virus free. It's a really reliable place to use, and I highly recommend you use it. So basically, you want to copy macOS, the hard drive picture, and then we want to copy copy it to Mac HD 999 gigabyte drive. It's basically the 1 terabyte drive. So there you go, and then we want to click copy now, and I'll just enter my password. So I'm just going to point you that way just to make sure, just in case it pops up for whatever reason. And then it'll say, do you want to, you're about to erase Mac HD, do you want to do it? Yes, I want to copy it. So and then it'll do its thing. Now it's even when it's a USB drive, it'll do it very quickly. The actual computer's USB plugs are only USB 2, so this is going to take a while, but if yours is newer and it has USB 3, this should not take that long. But yeah, either way, it'll be good to go. So yeah, it should only take, this will normally take about an hour if it's USB 2. You could often cut that by 50 minutes if you got USB 3, but anyway, that's so I'm going to leave this to do its thing, and I'll catch you guys when it's almost finished. Okay, it's just finished copying the files. We're now just waiting for the success of the copy. That means then it'll be bootable and it'll actually work, because it's copied the file, but it needs to be bootable, otherwise the machine won't, recognise it. So we're currently just at that point of step, and yeah, when that happens, it should just work. Well, I really hope it does, because otherwise we'd have a big issue. But yeah, hopefully it's all good. So yeah, it's just part of the waiting game, and when it's finished, this will just all tick, and then it'll reboot. And before we install it, we'll hit Option, and we can boot from it. There you go. No, we can register later, and as soon as that, you see it's all done. So now we can. It's prepared the files, it's copied the files, and now it's bootable and ready to go. So if we click OK, it took 1 hour and 17 minutes. So for being USB 2, that's actually not that bad whatsoever. So now as that's copied, what we can do is, I'm going to click restart, and now this will be the test. I won't time it yet because we haven't put it into the Mac, but in fact we should be able to hit Option, and I should be able to check and see if the 1 terabyte drive boots. So here's the test. You've got to hold down the Option key when it bongs, so I'm just waiting for it to bong. I'm holding it down, and then you wait until it pops up with the hard drives or the options to boot from a certain device, as I'll show you right now. So I'm holding the option key. There we go. I have Mac HD. That's, of course, they're both called Mac HDs, but the main one of it's highlighted right now is the hard drive in the MacBook already, and the one with the USB is the USB drive at the moment that has the hard drive in it. When I swap those, that won't be a USB anymore. It'll format as its main. But anyway, if I click enter, yes, it's Apple logo. It knows, and when we get the line, it should boot. Now, booting off a USB 2 drive will take quite a fair bit of time, but well, not that long. But either way, this is just to test it's bootable before we start taking the back off the MacBook and putting the new drive in. So yeah, we're currently just waiting, and yeah, when that's sorted, I'll be back with you guys when it's done. Because actually, no, you know what? It looks like it's actually being fairly quick, so we'll just see what happens. Well, I'll say fairly quick anyway. It will be a lot faster and boot up when it's in the actual machine. This is just because it's loading it though in USB 2. Sorry, I just hit the camera tripod all over the place. You'll have to excuse me, but anyway. It's on, it's definitely loading, it's working. The activity light on the USB drive behind the computer is going like mad, so it's definitely doing it, and it should work. And we can prove it's booting off that drive because we can go into disk utility when it's finished, when it's booted in, and we can go into disk utility and make sure it's booting off the drive we have selected. So it should come up at top, I believe, even if it's booting off a USB drive, but either way, I suppose we'll find out. So yeah, it's just the waiting game now. It won't take this long when it's in. It's just because it's loading off USB 2, like I said. But I'll catch you guys later when it's going on, because this is probably going to take long because it's first installation after it's boot, so it'll probably take long off USB 2 anyway. So I'll just leave it be for the moment. Okay then, just to save time, I'm entering my password, but basically when you log in, it'll pop up with Super Duper, and you can just close that straight away. But now it should be successful. To check it has done it properly and everything else, but for the time it's took to load up, you can definitely tell we've logged in using the Mac HD. It's important you don't unmount it from here before you shut it down, because otherwise your whole computer will crash. So don't do that. But anyway, we can check it about the hard drive and the rest of it by going about this Mac, storage, then we can have a look in the storage settings. It'll take a little bit longer to load because it's doing that, but basically there you go. That's the 500GB SATA disk. If I just zoom with that, there we go. That's a briefly in shot anyway, or the best I'm going to get with this recording setup that I have. There you go, that's the original 500GB drive that's still on the computer, and there's the 1TB drive. So now this next step is just to turn off the computer and basically just shut it off, and I'll show you how to install it. But there you go, that's the transfer stage. Okay then guys, well here we are at the computer. I've already took the plastic case off the back. Yours probably won't have this, it's just because I have a full ceramic plastic texture case to protect that aluminium. But anyway, here's the tools you're going to need. They're very simple. Most of them you won't need special tools for. They may already have the basic tools that you should have around your house. But except for one of the hard drive screws. But apart from that though, you can use that with a pair of crimps actually, but I've got it already here. Now a handy tool would be a prying tool from an iPhone kit. Basically, if you want to take these things apart, just get the iPhone kit, because every screw and things often come with those kits. This one cost me $2.99 to fix an iPhone that I have used for, but in this case it's handy to take apart this Mac. But anyway, you need a crosshead screwdriver and one of the Torx sort of looking keys. I can't exactly tell you what it's actually called, but anyway, and that's basically all the tools you need, and of course your hard drive. But I've already took out the hard drive partition case that I had. So basically the first step is to take the screws out of the back. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 10 screws to remove out of the backs. They're cross-headed screws, not so normal screwdriver. Small tip will work just fine. You want to put them in the layout order, because most of them are long, some of them ain't. So you want to lay them out in a place in a nice layout so you don't lose them. well, more than that, you don't lose them, but you know which goes in where. So I often put it on a layout on the table of how it would look like when you put when you'd see the screws when the Mac was in. So basically, you get what I mean. But anyway, I'm just going to lay out the screws on my desk of how I see them when I take it apart. So I'm just going to take those out. Now, if you've got a parts tray or a big metal part tray that you can leave everything out and you know exactly which screw goes where, then that's great. But I always don't want to chance it, so I just lay them out. But if you've got a big parts metal tray, then it's worth it, because then you don't lose them, but also you know which way they go around. So it's a bit of a bonus there and there. So but anyway, I'm just going to take these out. As there's 10 of them, so this is going to take just a little bit. If I could actually figure out how to speed up the editing, maybe I could, but anyway, we'll just take these out one by one. You may actually see the order that I'm doing it in with my stuff. So yeah, just take those out, and then that one. And simply enough, you just go from the back where the hinges is and just pick up and remove, and then you can see the insides of your MacBook Pro 2011 or whatever one you're using. So yeah, I'm just gonna so yeah, basically that's where the hard drive is. It's the exact same size, normal laptop size. It'll fit straight in. So yeah, all I need to do is use a normal crosshead screwdriver again and just remove this little panel. So let me do an up close on that so you guys can see it. So I'll just change angle. Okay then, so there's the factory hard drive. All I need to do is remove these screws. Hopefully the lighting's alright. This room is fairly lit in real life, but I don't know exactly how it's going to look like in camera, but you should be able to see there's 2 screws exactly there and there, as the camera's not exactly picking up, and then they hold themselves in and you just remove it. And then, simple as enough, you just pull on the tab and remove. Just make sure you don't do that like I just did, because that's the ribbon cable and it's not replaceable. So be careful when you do that, because I almost forgot, even when I've done this about millions of times. But that should be alright though. But either way, there's the original hard drive. Okay then, the next step is pretty simple. All you need to do is get your sort of Torx bit, and you need to transfer the screws on this edge onto the new drive. You can literally put them in any way you like, but it's easy. If you want to make it easy for yourself and not lose anything, then do it step by step. Remove one screw and move it to the next, and move it into the spot on the new drive, and just repeat. Old drive, got the screw, and then just add. There we go, and then tighten it up. You don't have to put it too tight, but you want to make it tight enough so it doesn't wobble out by vibration. So just a little finger tight is enough, and just then check it's secure. Because when I originally did this, not to change the hard drive, but just because I messed up my Windows installation, they were on pretty tight. So if they're a bit tight, then it is normal. Just make sure though you're turning it left, undoing it, turning the screwdriver left. Otherwise, if you turn it right, you're going to crosshead it and make it even tighter. So to tighten, turn it right. To undo it, turn it left. So yeah, I'm just going to tighten this up. There you go, nice and just finger tight's enough. Then I'm going to twist these both around. There you go. I'm going to undo the screw. Of course, pretty tight. They do sit because of vibration and heat. They do tighten up. If you have any, even if it's not totally necessary, thread lock would be a good idea if you want them to also stay and make sure they don't vibrate. The only disadvantage though with these is sometimes they can stick incredibly the same as if there wasn't any. So either way, it's up to you. It's not going to make massive effect if it's there or not. So yeah, I'm just going to do the other one. So yeah, there you go. Put it on the new one. they can be a bit fiddly, so don't be surprised if you're getting a bit annoyed of why you're thinking they're not coming in, if it's like too big or not. Don't worry, it's normal, they are quite fiddly. And there we go, new brackets installed. Now, it's not necessary, but it is nice because it's a nice feature from Apple. Remove the pull tab from the old drive and put it on the new drive. That means then if you ever need to move it out, you won't need to worry about prying it and stuff. So just basically just put it on, and basically just put it on. I'm just going to put it here so I can see what I'm doing. Get it on nice and tight if it's possible. No, it's not sticky enough. Okay, basically forget about that, but basically the next step is just putting it in the computer. Then the next step is to put it in, put it in facing up. First of all, connect your SATA connector, make sure it's up the right way, and then just firmly press. Make sure it's in, and then slide with a little fob so you can feel where it just about sits in its locking hole, and then just let it drop. It should fit in just perfectly. There we go. And then you put your securing bracket just on the top to keep the hard drive in so it doesn't fall out. Normal screwdriver for this, and just fasten the screws. Hand tight's enough, or finger tight more than anything. And there you go, and all you need to do is just put the cover back on. Just place the cover back on simply by just putting it down, feeding it in, make sure that all the corners are matched, and then just put your screws back in. All you need to do is put your little pattern. I recommend just slotting them all in first so you know where all the screws are before they get jumbled in a mess. Take one by one, put it in, and then fasten. Just be careful when you do this not to be too quick, otherwise if they're the smaller ones they may fall out, so be careful. So take your time and be patient if you're doing this for the first time, and if you haven't got the hang of it. Just make sure they're in, put them in bit one by one like I said. Just make sure they're in the hole so they're not going to fall out, because they are very small screws. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but if you hear screaming, sorry, it's just the stupid kids next door screwing their heads off. Well, not next door, but front neighbours anyway. When they're all in place, just screw them in one by one. Hand tight's enough. Do them one by one, starting from the top and working your way down. Make sure you don't knock any of the screws on the floor, because if you have carpet like me, it can be a pain in the arse to find. You can literally spend minutes, if not hours, trying to find these screws if you drop them. So if you haven't got spares on hand, if you've got a spare mat, for example, on the hand, then make sure you know keep your screws safe. Otherwise, it'll be a pain in the arse to try and find new ones along with the rest of it. And if you try to find it, so just place it in. Simply just by taking your time, screw it in one by one. Hand tight's enough. Just do them up. And yeah, the last one. And simple as that. That's how you put the screws in. Lovely. Right. Okay then, I've put my cover back on, the screws in, so the first step is just to power it on. And just let it be. Apple logo should pop up in a moment. Sometimes it may go blank for first sensation, just to recognise the drive where it is in its new location, because of course it's a different drive. The motherboard measures and knows what it is. So it should just pop up in a moment, hopefully. It normally won't take this long first time. It's just because it needs to find where the drive in its new location and know about it. And there you go, simple as that. It's loading it up. Sometimes it'll often take a longer on first start. After a restart though, you will notice it'll be quick and it'll register into it straight away without a problem. But in just this case, it's just taking a while because it's it's a fresh hard drive. All the stuff in it just needs to know what it is really. So yeah, I'll just wait until it comes back. Okay, we're now booted in. That was really quick, but now the restart time should be quicker. So I'm just going to restart, and it should not take long at all. The closing down part may take, but the restart, of course, will be pretty fast, or should be. If you're replacing the hard drive, if it's newer than the actual computer, if it's the original hard drive, then it should be more faster and more, newer, because it will be more improved and it should be faster for the computer. But here we go. A few times it may take a little bit to gather itself in because it's fresh install and the rest of it, but apart from that though, it'll just boot straight in and it should be fine. Hopefully. It doesn't normally do this, but when it boots in it'll be fast, but it may take a few cycles for the computer to learn faster and stuff like that. It's just normal stuff, it's average. There you go. If you wanted something lightning fast, as soon as you click the button it loads up instantly. When this load bar goes, then you want an SSD, but depending on the price and the availability that you want, then you're just better off with something like this, especially if you want more memory. You just can't go wrong. But apart from that though, that was just the installation of my SSD. Before I end it off, we'll just do a quick speed test on the disk. Sadly I didn't do one on the original drive because that's a bit of a shame, but anyway, it's in and it works, so there you go, you can't complain. Also, by upgrading the hard drive, whatever you've actually improved. If you just replace it with and fell off, you've got your computer back, but if you upgrade as well, more in doubt, you also will make more money on your computer if you wish to reset it. So yeah, basically I'm just going to log in. I'm just going to nudge you guys that side so I can type in my password without you lot knowing what it is, because that would not be all that great, to be honest. Right, there we go. And yeah, simple as that. It's all up and it's there. So there you go, all icons, it's all logged on, and there we go. So there you go. I'll just do a quick speed test. This is free application. It's really good to test on the health of your hard drive. Like, it won't tell you the exact health, but from the speed and the rest of it, it will tell you. So here you are, fresh hard drive. Just had backed up the stuff, put it on. Let's see what we get. Okay, so it's not massively impressive, but it's better than what we got with the other one, briefly speaking. And it'll be a faster download, write and read. Yeah, read is so much better. So yeah, it doesn't look massively impressive, but to be honest, it is better than anything else. And just by improving it, will make it so much better than the original. So it's just doing for its cycle of tests. But anyway, it's done better. It can now go up to higher APFs, and it runs so much better. So yeah. As always guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.